Good morning, rail fans. Joe here with the Black Rock Central Railroad. Kind of a little bit of a in progress video here on what I am doing to this poor 1969 Alco C415 to try to make it run better on my layout. If you've seen any of the other videos, you know when I bought this thing it was DC only. So I decided to try to throw a Digitrax decoder in it, and we even managed to put a Keep Alive in it, because on this particular loco only one truck picks up power, the front truck, and one truck is the powered truck. So I figured going over top of turnouts and that kind of mess, yeah, I think I wanted to Keep Alive in there to try to help it out some. I managed to get it running on its own with the decoder and all in it, but was not happy with the performance of it at all, and it appeared that the Keep Alive was not doing a thing for the motor. So in a conversation that I had with Digitrax, they thought the old motor was drawing more than the 1 amp power that the Keep Alive could support. So I hemmed and hawed around a little bit, figured, well, we'll replace the motor with something. So I dug through the scrap box and came up with a nice small motor as compared to the one that I took out of it. This used to just sit right down there on top. Had the 2 big brushes and that kind of mess. So I cut the wires off of it, had to modify the mounts a little bit, and drop this smaller motor in. The smaller motor had its own worm gear already on it, but it didn't mesh up right, so I had to cut that one off, remove the one off of this motor, and glue it onto it, because the shafts are not quite the same size. So we threw some super glue on there, and you can see the red worm gear in the bottom of it now, which goes along with the normal gears. After that, I ran it around the track a couple times and discovered another big problem with it. The flanges on the wheels, as old as what this thing is, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that or not, has very large inside flanges. Now this also has the traction tires on it. I did manage to find some traction tires that fit, which helped greatly, but it's still, with the large flanges, it hits the ballast every once in a while. Still doesn't really like some of the turnouts. When it comes to the plastic, I think the larger flanges actually ride up into the on the plastic frogs and that kind of mess. So what I've done here is put this other motor in, taken all the gearing out, or all the gears out temporarily, of course, taken the wheels and separated them from their axles. Now these wheels, I believe, are 46-inch diameter, scale inches in diameter. The largest I could get, or that I could find anywhere, were 44-inch. So I don't think that little 2 scale inches is going to make a lot of difference. I've got some coming. They're supposed to be here sometime today or tomorrow. Walther's wheels. Complete sets with the gears, axles, everything else in them. And what I'm going to end up doing, I had a spare set of 33-inch ones here that I tried, and the axles are not the same size. I tried just dropping them in, and the gears are a lot bigger, and things just didn't mesh up. But I can take the wheels off of the axles. And what I'm hoping happens is that once I take all the wheels off the axles, that I can press them back onto these axles, which are for this locomotive. Set the wheel gauge with my trusty little NMRA gauge there and put it all back together again and see what happens. Hopefully with the smaller flanges that the new wheels will have, she might run a little bit better the way I want it to. If this works, later on down the line, I might even be able to get some thin brass and glue some contacts in here, just like these are, on both sides. Set them in there, wire them in, and then maybe have pickup from both sets of trucks instead of just the front. But that's a project that can wait for a little bit if I can get this sucker to run the way I want to. So we'll call it quits for now until I get the new wheels in here, and we'll let you see what happens then. And hopefully we'll get this old beast running right. My cement plant needs its own switcher. So we thank you for watching. Any questions or suggestions that you might have that might speed this process up a little bit, let me know in the comments. Thank you much, and we'll talk at you all later. Bye for now. Okay, rail fans, my wheels got delivered about a half hour ago. This is now, what the hell's today? Wednesday. This is the original wheel that comes off of it after I take the axles out of them. And these are the ones that I ordered from, they're Walthers, but I forget where I actually ordered them from. I think it was Horizon Hobbies is who sent them. Standard drive gears or drive axles out of a Walthers kit. You can see that it's not quite the same identical size. However, what you're also comparing to is this overly large flange on these wheels. When you line these up with each other, it's a pretty damn good match. So the procedure that I go through here is to take these, pull the wheels apart, get rid of the gear, get rid of the bushings, and then drive the axle out. Then what I have are the idler axles or the drive axles. And I have to shave them down a little bit. They have to be sanded down a little bit because it's not the exact same size. But they're plastic so that it works. And press the wheels onto the axle in my vise. And of course, take the handy dandy little tool, drop them in there, and you see that, yeah, they do fit. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off, or do this off camera, whichever you care to call it, and see if we can't get all four of these done, and then we'll bring you back. So hang tight for a bit. Well, people, it appears what I have created here is a very noisy shelf queen. It does run along. Of course, we'll wait for it to come back by again here, but you can hear the noise that this damn thing is making, which I don't think there's any way to quiet that thing down. But that is actually running on speed step 24. Just to get it to start to run around the track. Not going to work for a switching locomotive in the cement plant. Along with the fact of, yeah, it's noisy. Well, that could be the motor. I don't even know what that motor came out of. As old as what that, I think the motor's probably as old as what the damn locomotive is. But for what I need it for, it ain't gonna work. So I think this is just gonna be a nice, noisy shelf queen. But we don't have all that much money tied up in it. The locomotive itself only cost me $30. I think is what I paid for it, or $35, something like that. And it was a cheap decoder. It was under $30 for the decoder, under $30 for the Keep Alive, and the wheels that I just put on it were $7.95, I think, for 6 of them. The hardest part of this whole thing was getting the wheels engaged. Sliding them onto the plastic axles and then locking them down in the vise so that I could press them on far enough without going too far. I don't know. Maybe if I let this thing run for 2 or 3 years, it'll quiet down some. But in the meantime, I'm going to post this just so everybody can see it. And here what we may do when it comes around here again is hook up to some new freight cars that we just got, just finished putting them all together. And we'll run them around here once or twice. So hang tight here a little bit till we come back around again. And then we'll see if it does pull freight cars anyway. Takes a lot of volts and amps to get this thing to move. And now we're just going to kind of yeah, it doesn't like pulling freight cars, I can tell you that. A lot of wheel slip here already at only speed step 13. I don't think she's going to make it around. I'm going to have to follow behind to give it a push every once in a while. That's probably why this thing originally came with traction tires. But that's enough of that. Let's just kind of take the camera here and we'll look at the freight cars that I just put together anyway. These are the ones that I just got from Caboose Hobbies and one of her Wednesday night specials. Tropicana, Weyerhaeuser, 3 Chessie C&Os, and 2 more Southern box cars. So I think for the time being that you've seen what happened. I think we may end up using that little Plymouth diesel that I got in the cement plant. But what the heck, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So we tried, we did not succeed, but back to the drawing board. So we'll catch y'all later. This is Joe from the Black Rock Central. Y'all have a great week and a great weekend coming up. Talk to you later. Bye for now.